Hello and welcome to the Mythic Radiance of Azshara guide. We completed this encounter with 2 tanks, 4 healers, and 14 DPS. You could run with 5 healers, as the damage is pretty significant throughout the fight, but we did find this to be overkill. There are 2 phases in this encounter, the boss phase and the add phase. The mythic ability added to this encounter as the boss now spawns an additional Eye of the Storm, which is an additional storm and stormlings within it. To combat the divide, the strategy is to have 2 separate groups. We had melee in their own group, while range spread out around the 2 tanks in the front. We split the healers accordingly, having 2 healers within each group. This allowed the melee to freely run behind the boss and allowed the range to have ample room in the front to spread and avoid tornadoes while still doing damage. We regrouped on the last boss phase to smooth out the damage taken. We recommend having 2 priests within the raid, divided between the groups, as you can have 3 of the unshackled power placed on each side. Mass Dispel is able to cover at least 2 of the debuffs. We found having the safe dispel area be the most outer ring from the boss helped reduce the raid movement. Our melee did find it easier to sidestep the diamond group and get dispelled, as it still allows them to DPS the boss while staying in melee. Once the add phase started, we would take the separated groups into the 2 adds and DPS them down quickly. Kicks on the small adds are important, so AoE will be significant in this. Keep in mind the 2 larger adds will keep the Eye of the Storms up, so make sure not to kill one before the other, as the group will be stuck within storms and take significant damage. For tanks, we advise you hold and rotate your major cooldowns for the add phases, as these hit harder than the swings from the boss. This would be the best time for external damage reductions, such as Iron Bark or Pain Suppression. DPS, keep in mind taking tornado hits while taking Unshackled Power can lead to death, so if hit, use a personal if you know Unshackled Power is about to go out, and please never let the Stormlings finish their Chain Lightning cast. Healers, rotate your main cooldowns throughout the boss phase, specifically for Unshackled Power, as this does hit hard. Try to keep cooldowns like Pain Suppression and Hand of Sacrifice for the add phase. Damage reductions like Aura Mastery and Barrier are best used for the Gale Buffet cast from the add. We will now go over the heroic abilities that will increase the difficulty of the mythic boss. Unshackled Power is the largest damage in the fight by far, raid-wide damage hitting players for at least 60% of their health. This is where raid-wide cooldowns will come in. This makes burst healing like Paladin's Glimmer and Disc's Radiance ramp very beneficial. When you feel the raid is too low, or you feel you're reaching a wall, floating a major cooldown like Revival or Trank might be the difference between the raid surviving and a wipe. Arcanados, or rather tornadoes, do spawn very quickly and frequently. From what I could gather, it looks as though there will normally be an average of 5 up at a time. The tornadoes do seem to stay up for about 25 seconds on Mythic. Stormlings are the largest issue for DPS. AoE stuns do seem to work on the adds, and they can easily be cleaved down as you are damaging the Stormwrath. When the Stormwrath does eventually cast Gale Buffet, you can tank him slightly on the side and stack closest to the middle. This will ensure you're not knocked out of the Eye of the Storm. Buffet does also do significant damage. This is where you would use your damage reduction like Aura Mastery or Barrier. And I believe this boss explanation is completed. I do thank you for your time and sticking through to the end. If you liked it, please let me know by leaving a like. I do hope to continue this in the future. Let me know if you have anything to add or if you feel I have missed something. For now, farewell, fair maidens. I shall see you in the next adventure.